Good Saturday morning, everybody. Welcome to this edition of the Shelbyville Now weekend wrap up. I'm with Josh Blevins. Mr. Josh, it's good to have you sitting next to me again. You've been out and had a lot of stuff happen this past week. We want to run over it. But before we do, we want to thank our sponsor, Dennis Young Insurance, and we're going to hear a word from them, and we're going to jump right in when we get back.
All right.
What you want with the personalized service you deserve at Dennis Young Insurance Agency.
As a local independent agency, we offer coverage from several different companies, including Erie. So whether it's auto, home, life, personal, or business, we can find the right coverage to meet your unique insurance needs. And with a rate lock advantage, your rates won't go up as long as you do not change drivers, autos, or addresses. Contact us at Dennis Young Insurance Agency, insuring Shelbyville and surrounding areas since 1988.
Okay, Josh, a lot of things happened this past week. And Monday, we had some excitement out at the airport. Why don't you tell us about that?
Yeah, Monday, first day of the week, and we started off with a plane crash. So not
a good week.
Not our normal start to the week. Not serious, but we actually got some photos sent to us by another student pilot out there. Just another thanks to him. Kevin Slate sent us some pictures. And looked like a student pilot out of Murfreesboro. His front tire blew out on landing, and he kind of got caught over in the dirt. Next thing you know, his plane was upside down.
Right.
So
he's lucky.
He's lucky. Yeah, he may or may not want to continue being a student pilot after that. I'm sure that was not a fun experience. Didn't hear that there were any serious injuries, though.
Right.
If you look at the pictures, you can see we got a bunch of guys out there. The fire department gathered a bunch of guys together, and they just picked the plane up and flipped it back on its wheels. So,
well, let's back up to Sunday. There was some other excitement. I understand a truck or a vehicle
drove
of some
into
sort.
one of the buildings there. Yeah, there's still damage on one of the buildings there up by 231. So
a lot of excitement out at the airport. And then you even had some stuff happen yesterday we'll get to later. But the airport's been the center of attention.
I've been going on at the airport this week. So Tuesday morning came around, and we got a press release from the city, and you looked at it, I looked at it. We didn't think a whole lot about it. We posted it, and next thing you know, we had about 160 comments, and most of them weren't very happy. It was we hired a company out of Austin, FD2S, Austin, Texas, to design a master plan for wayfinding signs for downtown Shelbyville. These are signs that are going to be scattered around, I guess, around the square in different areas, pointing you to different attractions in the city.
And what attractions do you think will be on the sign? Is it going to be businesses, Josh, or do you think it's going to be landmarks? Or
I'm thinking the celebration will get on there. So I don't, honestly, I guess we'll find out here shortly. They're actually today is the last day that the company's in town here. They're going around looking for, I guess, landmarks that are worth putting on a sign. And a lot of the negative feedback we got was, part of it was that we picked a company from Austin,
right,
instead of a local company. But the city put out a request for qualifications and only got 2 responses. One came from a company in Austin and one came from a company in Pennsylvania, I believe. And so they only had 2 to choose from. So they went down, looked at the qualifications, and decided this one from Austin was the better of the 2 choices.
Okay. Now I know that the question that a lot of people had, and now I think we're up to like more comments than that now.
Yeah,
it continues.
Oh,
it's the gift that keeps giving.
Yeah, we keep getting a lot of feedback.
But the big thing is the question: what is this costing us, and why are we spending this money for this? Okay. So you dug into that a little bit.
I did. There's 2 different pieces that we're actually spending money on. We're getting a downtown informational kiosk at the cost of $25,115.90. They're real specific on that one.
All right.
That will be a kiosk that's going in front of the courthouse annex. It's already been ordered. It should show up any day, honestly, I've been told.
So if you're on the sidewalk, it's going to be mounted there so you can look at it.
It's a kiosk, 4-sided, I think, and they hang posters on it for upcoming events.
Okay, so it's going to be more of a
kind of a general, big events coming up in the area that the city. And then
how much was that?
$25,115.90. 90 cents.
All right.
And then the company from Austin, we're paying them $100,000 And for that, we're getting the master plan, which is consulting. And then we're expecting somewhere in that money, we're going to get about 4 of these directional signs. And then the rest we will look to pay for down the road.
Okay.
So,
all right. So where does this money come from?
Okay. Of the 100, 12 came from a grant.
Okay. So we got a grant for a little bit
grant.
of it.
And that's part of the key to the whole the kiosk and the wayfinding plan. This is all tied into a big grant package we got last year, I think it was. Remember when they put all the new awnings on the square and everybody painted the front of their building?
Beautifying the square.
We got a big grant, and part of the key to that grant was, in addition to the money we got given to us, the city had to go out and spend some of their own money to also beautify downtown and beautify the square. And so all these shop owners, 18 different business owners downtown got varying amounts of money, and we're able to fix up the front of their building. But in return for getting that money, the city has to now go out and spend some of their money.
And this is part of that.
Up.
So how much? So 12,000 from a grant,
and then 88. The balance, the 88,000 is coming from the hotel motel tax, which that's a restricted fund that we have to spend on tourism, drawing in tourists.
Okay.
So it's not money we can spend to fix potholes. So
that's unfortunate.
It's unfortunate. We got some potholes, and that was some of the comments. Why are we putting up signs when we got potholes? But this particular money.
Well, somebody even posted that maybe they can point to the potholes with the signs.
Probably we'd rather fix them before we.
That was one of the first comments that came out, actually, and I laughed so hard.
Yeah. So there's a reason this money was spent on this project.
Now, I want to clarify that we did not get this information from social media. We got this from the city of Shelbyville. Okay, so this is not regurgitated Facebook post.
No,
this is from the source. All right.
This was
just
a
to clarify, everybody,
from the city.
this is not from social media.
Yeah, we're social media folks, but we were actually posting actual.
Well, we're a little more than social media folks.
Well,
but
anyway,
that's how we've been labeled. But that's okay. We'll get it. We're gonna the information we're giving you guys is not rumors or hearsay. This is pretty much what's taking place.
Yeah, I mean, we spend a lot of hours a week going out and talking to people, and I met with all levels of government this week, from public works to planning to city to county to we put a lot of hours into this. So.
You know, a lot of times, most of this stuff is posted on our city and our county websites, but people forget it's there, I guess, and just don't go and look for some of this stuff. Now, I don't think the city had this posted, but they made a public post.
Yeah, they
wanted us to send this out. So
yeah, exactly.
All right, so we look forward then to seeing some signs popping up. Hopefully.
There should be some signs at some point in the future.
Okay, so, all right. What else we got, Josh?
Later on Tuesday, we had the county standing committees met. Nothing too crazy happened. They went through those pretty quick. One brief moment of, we'll call it controversy at the end. Commissioner Hooker responded to some comments that were made the previous month about some of the comments he'd made about the new juvenile justice bill.
He was basically questioning the amount of participants or the amount of
incarcerations we had incarcerated.
And those numbers came out, and he actually added them up and looked at the 3-year history. And what did he find out at that point?
He found from the reports that he got, he was correct on the numbers side of things, that numbers have gone down.
And again, these numbers did not come from social media. They came from actually.
They were provided by the lady that's over the juvenile justice.
Okay, so that's their numbers.
Yeah, she handed out those numbers last month.
So we've had a decrease in the last 3 years.
We went from, I think it was 969 room nights 2 years ago. When we were 2023, we were at like 460 some nights.
That can't be bad. That's good.
That's a good sign. We'd rather have less incarcerated juveniles.
Absolutely.
So no, that's not a bad thing. And then the same day, Tuesday, and we don't need to go over the whole thing. You did a great interview with Dr. Garrett.
Yeah, she gave us a lot of information talking about testing and about the challenges that the system has with newcomers, as she called it.
Right.
And we did find out an alarming number for the economically disadvantaged. They had an increase of 42%, I believe is what that number was.
Yeah,
it was
41.4%. Yeah, we went from last year on our TISA numbers, we had 2,794 economically disadvantaged out of our roughly 9,000 students. And the new numbers she just got, we've got 3,951. So we've not added that many new students. These are kids, most of them that were already in our system, that for whatever reason, their financial situation at home has gotten worse.
Well, I can tell you what the reason is. It's easy to see. A loaf of bread has gone through the roof. And you got families that are struggling financially because of inflation.
Right. Yeah.
And that puts a stress on our education system.
It does. Yeah.
With these numbers looking at.
Yeah.
So.
And it's a bad.
But hopefully it gets us a little more money to work with from the TISA program.
Now for the flip side, that's the good part of it. Our total base budget for next year, they got the initial numbers, and we're going from 82 million to 88 million total between what the county puts in and what the state's going to put in as our base budget. So that'll be good. But still not good that our number of people economically disadvantaged is going up that quick in 1 year. So Wednesday
was a quiet day.
Wednesday was quiet. I didn't find anything really that exciting on Wednesday. Maybe I missed it. But Thursday, though, we posted just a 2-sentence blip that the city put out an agenda, and it mentioned that we've got a 7-brew coffee drive-through coming to town. And your computer lit up with notifications.
It sounded like a slot machine paying off with all the notifications coming through. People are excited about coffee. Evidently.
People apparently like coffee. I don't, not sure exactly what the draw is. Honestly, I've never drank it a 7-brew.
And again, this is not information that came from social media.
No,
this is information from the city.
Yeah, this came from the city.
It didn't come from social media. Now, we posted it on social media, but the source of the information is not social media. The
source of information was
clear.
The city planning commission,
just to make it clear. Okay. And we had comments from, man, this is fantastic, to no, we need to support local. I mean, there's a lot of comments. And then it went off into some rabbit chasing about what all we needed here in Shelbyville and Bedford County.
Yeah, I think seem to be a little bit of confusion. Some people think that somehow planning picks the companies that come to town.
No,
as if the city's sitting there with a list of companies and we reach out and say, oh, we're going to have 7-brew. Let's put one right here. That's a private company that chose to come to Shelbyville.
And some of the comments make me think that people feel that the government is actually running the businesses around here and putting them in. It's not. The
government had nothing to do with 7-brew coffee coming here. They chose, they looked at the city, they decided this would be a good spot for a drive-through coffee shop, and they're going to open one. So
we're some coffee drinking people.
We are some coffee drinking, and shout out to Southern Cup, who is our local coffee place that
and we love
stop
Southern
at least once a week.
And we've got Coffee Beans, which has turned into a great restaurant. Then we've got Coffee Break on the square. We've got some local coffee shops.
Oh yeah,
and then we've got the Grindstone Cowboys coming. And we got Dunkin' out there, and then rumor has it that we're going to get in the Kroger, the Super Kroger. Supposedly, we're going to get a Starbucks.
I've heard that rumor.
I've heard it. Now
that is a social media rumor.
That could be a social media rumor. That's not official. Okay, just a little footnote. But the point is, we got a lot of coffee shops already.
We got some coffee.
And evidently, we moved some coffee around here.
Apparently, people like their coffee. So.
Okay, so. But that's interesting to see how that will play out and the exact location. But we tend to think it's going to be on the north side.
Yeah, I think so. And we'll find out that on Thursday. That's being presented to the Planning Commission, where they've actually already approved the site plan. It was a small enough thing that it was administratively approved, but they're still going to present it before the commission just so they can see what was approved there.
Right.
So. Last on my rundown from Friday, actually something I didn't even put on my rundown, but we'll mention at the back at the airport. I went Friday and we had the ribbon cutting for Hawkins Flight Academy.
Yeah.
So that went well. They had a surprise visit. It wasn't part of the program, but it just happened. 2 Army Blackhawks had stopped at the airport for refueling or passing through, whatever reason.
Yeah.
And they hung around, and we were able to, walk around and see the Blackhawks. We got to see them take back off, and that was cool.
There's something that's confusing to me, though, Josh.
Yeah.
Within that presentation, when the presentation was made, and they were talking about the airport, and of course Hawkins getting their business going there.
Yeah.
It was announced that we were at the Shelbyville Bedford Airport.
That was mentioned in the introduction. I'm just going to hope that was a slip of the tongue, because it's definitely the Shelbyville Municipal Airport.
Shelbyville Municipal Airport. The city of Shelbyville owns the airport.
Yeah, it's the Shelbyville Airport. It's
Shelbyville, Bedford. I don't know where that came from.
Yeah, it's not the county airport. It is the city airport.
Yeah.
So
yeah. that's clarified, and
yeah.
And the city does operate it.
Yeah, but as far as Hawkins, they seem like a couple of great guys had
Yeah.
started it. They were really emotional about being able to open a small
Right.
business together, and we hope they're successful. Like
Any
any business that
you
comes
need to
into town
visit their
here,
website
so,
if you have an interest in learning how to fly.
yeah,
I mean, it seems like training is the direction that the
Right.
Shelbyville Airport is with the MTSU coming. So we're going to be a training mecca. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
They have what they call light sport aircraft, which gets you in a plane half the time that it does for a private certificate.
right.
Instead of 40 hours, you can go 20 hours and train 20 hours and get your certificate to fly the light sport, which we have the manufacturer, Jerbu,
Yep.
that makes the light sports on site.
It's right here at the airport.
Right here at
Yeah.
the airport. And then there's another manufacturer there. I can't remember the name of it. But it's turning into quite the little facility out there. And
Right.
we've always had a great airport. It's something Shelbyville should be proud of.
Yeah, it's a great airport. So, and then later in the day, Friday, it came to our attention that some people were possibly in the county were a little upset with our discussion about the lights at the courthouse last week.
Well, I think that what happened was that the $237,600 that's being spent on the lighting was trying to. There was some sources of some circulation of some documents going around saying that no, this is for like security and some other things, and that social media had lit this up and misrepresented. But again, we're going to clarify the courthouse lighting, and you followed up to see exactly.
As best we can. Yeah, I contacted the finance department because last week when we spoke about it, we were a little vague even on the number because I hadn't talked to anybody.
Right.
We didn't want to put an exact figure out. But I contacted the finance department. The project that was put out for bid was the exterior lighting,
and that goes back to
discussed.
December. I looked at the date on that. It was put out in December.
Yeah, it was put out for bid, and the winning bid was $237,600. I believe the company's Hawkins and Price. Maybe.
Hawkins and Price, yes.
Yeah. The key, though, that the county wanted to clarify is that of that dollar amount, 80% of that is not the actual lighting on the exterior of the courthouse. It's construction and electrical upgrades that have to happen. The building's historic. It doesn't have it doesn't have the electrical system.
So there's an electrical upgrade of whatever 80% of that amount is. They're going to have to drill through the big blocks. They're going to have to do a lot of construction to support lighting up the courthouse.
To support
now, we did get the list of the colors that were coming out.
We did have that last week. I don't have that in front of me.
And I saw that in the quote.
Yeah, that's in the bid package.
In the bid package, and it's a long list. And it includes the courthouse annex having a top-down lighting system.
Right. So the annex will have lighting in the courthouse.
We're going to light the courthouse. It's official. We're going to light the courthouse up and the annex up like the White House.
It's going to be very colorful. Yeah.
Very colorful.
So, yeah.
All right. I'm not going to make any comments, but again, this didn't come from social media. This came from the actual bid.
Right.
This came the request for bid.
Yeah, this came from the county's website.
The county's website
and
follow
up with the finance
department.
Yeah.
So again, not from social media.
No,
this came from their documents.
No,
okay,
it did not. And that's kind of it for what happened during the week. And we've got a couple things coming up next week, but maybe we should hear one more time from our sponsor before we go into what's happening next week.
Yeah, that'd be a great idea. We thank Dennis Young Insurance here in Shelbyville. Let's pause and hear from him, and we'll be right back to wrap things up.
What you want with the personalized service you deserve at Dennis Young Insurance Agency.
As a local independent agency, we offer coverage from several different companies, including Erie. So whether it's auto, home, life, personal, or business, we can find the right coverage to meet your unique insurance needs. And with a rate lock advantage, your rates won't go up as long as you do not change drivers, autos, or addresses. Contact us at Dennis Young Insurance Agency, insuring Shelbyville and surrounding areas since 1988.
Welcome back in here. We're going to wind things down, but before we do, Josh, I want you to kind of give us a preview of what's coming up this coming week.
What's coming up this week? I've got two bigger meetings this week. Tuesday late afternoon the County Financial Management Committee's meeting, and on their agenda is an item to borrow $10.4 million. All it says on the agenda is for education and county expenses, I think. But, educated guess is we got a $6.2 million quote on the Liberty and Thomas editions.
Right.
So I would assume that would be in there. And then the other item that's been on a lot of agendas recently is that new juvenile justice building,
Right.
where we're going to move that off the square and put it up.
So
by
this
the
is
main jail.
speculation about what, but it is.
Yeah.
We're going to borrow 10.4 million is the talk on the agenda.
That's the dollar amount,
not from Facebook or not.
No, that's
on the agenda. Okay, so my question is, Josh, you look at these numbers quite often. It's why would we borrow $10.4 million if we've got a huge bundle of money sitting of cash? Would it make sense to borrow it?
That is a question that I'm hoping somebody will ask on Tuesday. Back in our 2019-2020 budget, we transferred $3.2 million out of our debt service account into our capital account to pay for some kind of construction. Then I don't know if that was when they're working on the courthouse.
So roughly from the financial documentation that you look at, how much do we have sitting in that fund today?
At the end of the last quarter, we had $46 million sitting in our debt service fund balance. Some of that's restricted for different things. But my question that I would definitely be asking, the finance committee would be, can we not transfer some of that fund balance and go ahead and pay for these projects? There may be a reason. Maybe we can borrow the money at a lower interest rate
than what we're
making on that fund balance right now. So there may be a financial reason, but definitely a question that hopefully gets asked on Tuesday.
All right, good.
And then Thursday, the City Planning Commission is meeting, and we'll find out more about the coffee shop on Thursday, 7 Brew. Right. And then also at the bottom of that agenda is a new PUD, planned unit development, called the Preserve at Lexington PUD, 307 units.
Okay.
And I've heard already officially that that's going to be deferred off this agenda, but it just needs to be something that we need to be looking forward to coming down the road. This will now be the second officially announced.
Any idea where this is?
I have an idea, but we can't talk about
we don't
where
know, but it is in the city.
It's in the city limits. In the city limits, And
won't have to. Would there be annexation taking place here?
No, this is already. Yeah, this is property in the city that someone's hoping to build a 307 unit. But you take this combined with the other one that's announced over on Union Street, which is 715. So that puts you at 1,000 units. We've got another one that hasn't made an agenda yet. That's about 400 more. And then we've got the Jennings Lane property. So we've got about 15 to 1,600 residential units that are going to be coming up for a vote within the next, few months once all the processes and everything happen behind the scenes to get them.
Okay. We have a comment backing this up. The electric update. This is from Charles Carney. The electric update is a safety issue that needs to be upgraded. The 80-year-old wiring is unsafe and a fire risk. The lights are a plus during the upgrade process. Happy it's all being done. So the quote of $237,600 is for rewiring the courthouse.
Well, it's for putting in the lighting system. The positive side effect is they're going to get a lot of electrical upgrades that hopefully down the road will help them on other projects in the future for sure. So now the bid package was specifically for the lighting and included they had to do whatever upgrades to make the lighting work, which is what they're doing.
Right.
So yeah, he's right.
You can't just plug those lights into what we have.
You can't just plug those into the side of the building.
We got to upgrade our electrical work to get the lights to work.
And now that they're doing this electrical work, possibly there's a camera package that they're looking to add. There's other things they're going to be doing to the courthouse that this is going to help. It's not just going to help these lights.
But the bid basically the $237,600. The bid is specifically for the lighting system and the wiring for it,
and whatever it takes to make it work.
Whatever it takes to make it work. So So I think it's pretty clear in the bid. If you look it up, it's on the county website. So that's definitely having good new wiring in an old building is not a bad thing, but it's not rewiring the whole courthouse. I would think a lot of that might have got done during the renovation, wouldn't it? Maybe some of it inside.
Yeah, maybe. Honestly, I don't know how much.
That would be interesting to look into. But that building is real old.
It's been around for a while.
They call it the historic. But let me ask you this now, Josh. Do you think we'll ever rename that, or will it just be the historic courthouse? Because we don't have court there anymore.
There's no court there anymore. That does confuse people. There's regularly, I hear people that show up there for court, expecting their court session to be there, and they have to get pointed to the new Justice Center on the north side.
The Justice Center on the north side of town. So we don't really have a courthouse anymore. And I guess this is the way a lot of cities are these days.
Yeah, it's also a photo spot. I drove through.
I saw that. I know there's a lot of these kids
up
there in their tuxes and gowns.
Yeah, it was
getting their picture
there last night.
Okay, so maybe it's just going to be a gathering place.
Yeah, it could be. So
all right,
yeah. So that's what we got coming up for the week. We'll keep attending meetings and asking questions and looking for things going on in the area.
Yeah.
So
all righty. Well, Josh, thanks for all your hard work this week and lots of stuff happening, a lot of stuff coming up, and we'll be back this same time next week. And again, we thank our sponsors, Dennis Young Insurance here of Shelbyville, and we'll be back next week, same time, same place.
yes, absolutely.